In K-dramas, fatherhood is often portrayed with deep emotion, sacrifice, and quiet strength. This video explores the top 10 most touching Korean dramas about fathers, where the love of a dad is shown not just through words, but through powerful actions, deep regrets, second chances, and silent endurance. From tear-jerking moments to uplifting lessons, each story highlights how fathers shape lives in extraordinary ways, whether through presence, absence, or redemption. If you've ever been moved by the quiet love of a dad, these dramas will stay with you long after the credits roll. Let's dive into these unforgettable stories. Reply 1988 isn't just a nostalgic trip back to the 80s. It is a moving tribute to the silent sacrifices and unconditional love of parents, especially fathers. Set in a close-knit neighborhood in Seoul, the drama captures the everyday struggles and joys of 5 families, focusing especially on their children's coming-of-age journeys. Among the standout portrayals is that of Sung Dong-il, the stern yet deeply loving father of Duk-sun. Dong-il's character reflects the archetypical Korean father, emotionally reserved, hard-working, and often misunderstood by his children. He rarely expresses his love through words, but his actions speak volumes. Whether it's quietly giving his daughter money for a school trip, staying up all night worrying about his children, or enduring hardship without complaint, his love is steadfast and selfless. The way he holds back tears at Duk-sun's graduation or silently supports her dreams illustrates the profound yet often invisible presence of a father's heart. What makes Reply 1988 special is its raw honesty. It doesn't glamorize fatherhood, but rather shows its quiet, persistent nature. Through Dong-il, the audience is reminded that a father's love is not always loud or poetic. Sometimes it's a man sitting at the dinner table late at night waiting for his child to come home safe. This drama makes you call your dad, cry with him, or just thank him silently. Reply 1988 is not just about growing up, it's about growing to understand the love that raised you. Hospital Playlist is renowned for its deep, humanistic storytelling, and among its many poignant moments is the portrayal of fatherhood in its diverse, heartfelt dimensions. The character of Dr. Ikjun, a skilled surgeon and devoted single father, stands as a touching symbol of modern fatherhood, loving, goofy, self-sacrificing, and utterly present. Despite his demanding job, Ikjun never lets his son Uju feel neglected. He brings him to the hospital when necessary, prepares his meals, listens to his stories, and always makes time to share moments of joy and silliness. There's a warmth in their interactions, from the way Ikjun patiently answers Uju's questions to how he gently guides him with humor and care that melts the audience's heart. Ikjun shows us that being a great father is not about perfection, it's about presence. He juggles work, friendship, and parenting with admirable balance, always ensuring his child feels safe and loved. His journey offers a fresh, deeply emotional look into single fatherhood, breaking away from stoic stereotypes and instead highlighting vulnerability, affection, and emotional availability. In a series filled with life and death stakes, Ikjun and Uju's scenes offer a tender counterbalance, a reminder that sometimes the most healing moments are found not in the operating room, but in a shared meal, a bedtime story, or a hug at the door. Hospital Playlist touches the soul by showing how being a father is about showing up, with patience, laughter, and unconditional love. In Move to Heaven, fatherhood is a powerful undercurrent that binds the entire narrative. The story follows Guru, a young man with Asperger's syndrome, and his father, Jungwoo, who run a trauma cleaning service, organizing and respectfully handling the belongings of the deceased. Jungwoo is not present for most of the series, having passed away early on, but his presence is deeply felt in every word, every action, and every lesson he left behind. Jungwoo's parenting is a masterclass in empathy and patience. Despite society's limited understanding of Guru's condition, Jung-woo nurtures his son's strengths, his meticulousness, memory, and empathy, and teaches him to face the world with dignity and purpose. He prepares Guru not just to live, but to live meaningfully. The manual he leaves behind isn't just a list of tasks. It's a father's map of how to navigate life, grief, and compassion. What makes Move to Heaven especially poignant is how Jung-woo continues to parent even in death. His love reverberates through voice recordings, memories, and the way he structured their business. Each trauma cleaning job becomes a lesson for Guru, a lesson his father intended to teach even in his absence. The series reminds us that fatherhood doesn't end with presence. It transcends time and mortality. Jung-woo's love, though soft-spoken and methodical, becomes the emotional compass of the entire show. Through tears and quiet moments of revelation, Move to Heaven tells us that the greatest gift a father can leave behind is the ability to face the world with kindness and strength. Navalera is a deeply moving exploration of dreams, aging, and the healing bond between generations, with a special spotlight on fatherhood. The story centers on Sim Dok-chul, a 70-year-old retired mailman who finally decides to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming a ballet dancer. While the core relationship is between Dok-chul and his young ballet mentor, the drama draws profound emotional strength from his role as a father. At first, Dok-chul's grown children are baffled and even upset by his sudden decision. Their reactions reflect the complex generational tension. They see their father as a provider, a pillar of reliability, not someone with dreams of his own. But slowly, through Dok-chul's quiet determination and grace, they begin to understand that fathers are not just role models. They are also human beings with passions, regrets, and desires. One of the most touching arcs is between Dok-chul and his son, who initially resents his father's pursuit of ballet. The journey from disappointment to admiration is subtle yet powerful. When the son finally watches his father dance, fragile, elegant, and free, it becomes a moment of reckoning. For the first time, he sees his father not through the lens of duty, but with respect and pride for the man behind the sacrifices. Navalera gently dismantles the rigid expectations often placed on fathers and reminds us that their journey doesn't end when their children grow up. Fathers too deserve to chase dreams, to be seen, and to be celebrated not just for what they give, but for who they are. My Father is Strange is a family-centered drama that radiates warmth, humor, and deep emotional resonance. And at its heart stands the extraordinary character of Byun Han-soo, a seemingly ordinary father with an extraordinary story. With 4 grown children and a loving wife, Han-soo is a man who has lived his life in quiet dedication to his family, always putting their well-being above his own. What makes Han-soo's portrayal so compelling is his quiet burden. He has lived for decades under a borrowed identity to escape a wrongful past. This secret, when revealed, threatens to destroy the family's trust, yet it's also the key to understanding the depth of his sacrifice. Every smile he gave, every lesson he taught, every hardship he endured was anchored in a desire to protect and provide for his family, even at the cost of his own name. The drama delicately portrays how fatherhood is often a path of unseen trials. Han-soo's character breaks down the typical image of a stoic father and reveals the emotional cost of being a pillar. His relationship with each of his children is filled with tender moments, but it is the eventual reckoning, when his children confront, hurt, and ultimately forgive him, that delivers the emotional climax. My Father is Strange reminds us that the truest kind of love sometimes comes with flaws, secrets, and mistakes. But when built on sacrifice and honesty, it becomes unshakable. Through Han-soo, the drama honors fathers who carry the weight of the world quietly and selflessly for the sake of their children. Eaywan Class is a tale of resilience, revenge, and redemption, but at its emotional core lies the powerful bond between Park Se-ro-yi and his father, Park Sung-yeol. Though Sung-yeol's presence is tragically brief, his influence shapes every decision Se-ro-yi makes and serves as the moral compass that guides the entire story. Sung-yeol is a father who doesn't just support his son, he empowers him. He teaches Se-ro-yi the values of integrity, kindness, and standing up for what is right, even when it hurts. When Se-ro-yi is expelled for defending a bullied classmate, Sung-yeol stands by him without hesitation. His quiet strength, his belief in his son, and his moral clarity leave a lasting mark, one that becomes Se-ro-yi's anchor during his darkest days. After Sung-yeol's untimely death in a hit-and-run orchestrated by a powerful chaebol family, Se-ro-yi's life is shattered. But it is his father's memory that fuels his rise. Every step Se-ro-yi takes in building his business and challenging injustice is a tribute to his father's spirit. In many ways, Eaywan Class is not just about revenge. It's about a son living up to the ideals of a father he deeply loved and lost. What makes this story so moving is how grief becomes a driving force for transformation. Sung-yeol may be gone, but his presence is etched in Se-ro-yi's every action, every moral choice, every refusal to compromise. The show teaches us that a father's love doesn't end with death. It lives on in the strength, courage, and convictions of the children left behind. 18 Again is a heartwarming, tear-jerking journey into the often overlooked emotional world of fathers, especially those who feel they failed. At the center is Hong Dae-young, a middle-aged man whose marriage is crumbling and whose teenage children seem to drift further from him each day. But when he magically reverts to his 18-year-old body, he is granted a rare opportunity to see his family, especially his children, through new eyes. As the young Go Woo-young, Dae-young watches from the sidelines as his children face bullies, isolation, and the quiet pain of growing up. And for the first time, he hears their thoughts and fears, the very things they had hidden from their father. These moments are deeply moving. A father who once felt distant is now close enough to feel every wound his children carry. Throughout the show, Dae-young confronts his past choices, the sacrifice of dreams, the frustrations of parenthood, and the emotional walls he unknowingly built. He learns that love isn't just about providing, but being emotionally present. As he helps his children anonymously, we witness a man rediscovering what it means to be a father, not through duty, but through empathy. 18 Again beautifully explores redemption, second chances, and the pain of love unspoken. It asks, if you could go back, would you be a better father? And as Dae-young grows into his role anew, we see that the greatest transformation isn't magical, it's emotional. Through laughter, regret, and healing, 18 Again reminds us that it's never too late to reconnect, to apologize, and to love your children more deeply. When the Camellia Blooms is a story of resilience and love, centered on Dong-baek, a single mother navigating life in a judgmental town. But woven subtly into the narrative is a moving portrayal of fatherhood, embodied in the unlikely hero, Hwang Young-sik, a small-town police officer who falls in love with Dong-baek and becomes a father figure to her son Pil-gu. Young-sik's love is loud, passionate, and unshakably loyal. He doesn't try to replace Pil-gu's biological father. He earns his place in the child's heart through patience, honesty, and relentless care. He attends baseball games, protects the boy from bullies, and stands proudly by Dong-baek even when the world whispers behind their backs. His affection is not performative. It's genuine, protective, and pure. The show also presents a touching contrast through Pil-gu himself, a young boy who, having grown up fatherless, fiercely guards his mother and remains wary of others. His journey from suspicion to trust, especially with Young-sik, is portrayed with sensitivity and grace. The moment Pil-gu accepts Young-sik as a father figure is quietly revolutionary. A boy learning to let someone in, and a man choosing to father not out of obligation, but out of love. When the Camellia Blooms is a testament to the idea that fatherhood isn't just biological. It's built through time, trust, and love. It shows how the presence of a strong, kind man can transform a child's life, and how in choosing to step into that role, Young-sik becomes one of the most memorable, tender father figures in K-drama history. Hi Bye Mama is known for its focus on maternal love, but quietly and profoundly, it delivers one of the most moving portrayals of fatherhood through Cho Gang-hwa, a grieving husband and single father left to raise his daughter after the sudden death of his wife, Cha Yuri. Gang-hwa's story is soaked in silent pain. He tries to carry on after Yuri's passing, working as a doctor, raising their daughter Saewoo, and eventually remarrying, but his heart never fully heals. Beneath his composed surface is a man who feels like he failed as a father and husband, haunted by regrets and what-ifs. His parenting is marked by guilt. Every gentle smile for Saewoo tinged with sorrow, every parenting misstep a wound reopened. When Yuri is suddenly returned to the world of the living for 49 days, Gang-hwa is forced to confront the depth of his love, loss, and self-blame. He watches his daughter bond with her mother, a moment both beautiful and devastating, and realizes that loving his child also means letting go of the past and embracing the present. His journey is not just about being a father again, but about healing, forgiving himself, and giving Saewoo a future not defined by tragedy. Hi Bye Mama shows us that fatherhood and grief is full of aching silences and unspoken love. Gang-hwa teaches us that being a father isn't just about being strong. It's about being brave enough to feel, to fall apart, and to rebuild. It's a quiet but stunning portrait of how deep a father's love can run, even through loss. Youth of May is a tragic, beautiful drama set against the backdrop of the Gwangju Uprising in 1980, a time of political unrest and human struggle. While the main story revolves around star-crossed lovers Hee-tae and Myung-hee, the emotional core of the drama also touches on a painful portrayal of a deeply flawed father-son relationship, one that underscores how the absence of compassion can wound a child for life. Hwang Gi-nam, Hee-tae's father, is a cold, ambitious man who uses his son as a pawn for political gain. He prioritizes status, image, and obedience over love and emotional connection. His control over Hee-tae's life is suffocating, shaping a young man who constantly suppresses his emotions and bears unbearable burdens in silence. Watching Hee-tae suffer quietly is heartbreaking. He's a man desperate for warmth, stuck under the weight of a father's approval he'll never truly receive. But what makes the story deeply emotional is Hee-tae's ability to resist the cycle of coldness. Despite his father's cruelty, he becomes a man of compassion and courage, risking everything for love and justice. His contrast to Gi-nam becomes a quiet rebellion, proof that even those raised without affection can grow into people full of it. Youth of May reminds us that not all stories of fatherhood are gentle. Some are filled with hurt, silence, and longing. But even in that pain, there's truth, a longing to be seen, a hope to be loved. The show tells us that breaking free from a legacy of emotional neglect is one of the bravest forms of fatherhood, to choose tenderness over tradition and love over legacy. These Korean dramas remind us that a father's love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the silence, the sacrifices, and the simple moments we often overlook. If any of these stories touched your heart, let us know in the comments. Which father character moved you the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss more emotional K-drama insights. Thanks for watching, and if you can, take a moment today to appreciate the fathers and father figures in your life. Until next time, stay kind, stay inspired, and keep loving deeply.